Keep going, just pedal to the metal, go. Morning guys, welcome back to the Isle of Skye. I think the general theme of this week's vlog will be wet and windy. So as I said in the previous vlog, we are staying on Skye a few extra days until Sunday, just to try to avoid the worst of the weather over on Harrison Lewis. We're due some pretty strong winds on Wednesday, but I think the prelude to that will be very wet, as in today, very wet. So we're heading up to the Kerrang. I really can't pronounce that. I'm going to say Kerrang every time, even though it's not Kerrang. I'm going to get the pronunciation, trust me. We just had to stop there for 20 minutes because they were doing some filming of two new cars, I think Mercedes. So, heading up. I'm going to stop up here, have a bit of a recce. Epic landscape. Scratch that. We're going to drive on through. A, it's absolutely peeing it down with rain, and B, there's the whole film set up there, so I'm going to assume that it's not exactly going to be a great time to be out moseying about, so we'll come back, it's fine. So clearly this morning, Monday morning, is Muppets on the Road Day. I literally could feel my head exploding there.
I thought you were going to actually turn into the Hulk.
You know, you pull the Hulk.
Yeah.
Thank you. You pull in, you flash your lights. You've got a nice safe, and there's some guy still reversing up a hill all over the place, and you're like, we've pulled in, we're stopped, we're stationary. Come ahead, and then he leaves you with a tiny little gap to get round. Oh, Monday is Muppets Day. So we just been through Uig, just confirming our ferry tickets are all good for the changeover for Sunday. I popped into the Isle of Skye brewing. They tried to convince me for getting the beast. I shied away from the beast. Wasn't able to slay the beast, but picked up a couple of their ales. So we're actually heading now, and again, we've talked about this so many times, just changing plans. You know, because it's such a wet day, we were going to go back to Portray and have a bit of a sort of a working day, planning day in the library. But instead we're going to head down to East Point, do a bit of wildlife watching. This area is kind of quite good for maybe eagles and otters and things. So yeah, that's what we're going to do now, heading out to East Point. So you know when you are slowly, or maybe at speed, evolving into proper gypsy bums, when you're actually...
I'm going to reuse my poachy bags because hardly anywhere sells them, and I'm out of them now, and I don't know how to poach an egg without my bags.
You heard that right, she doesn't know how to poach an egg without bags. So we're now drying out the last two poachy bags that we have. So
we see how many times I can reuse.
Check back in next week's vlog to see whether we can make it to 2 and 3 times. Or we could just learn how to poach an egg properly.
This is the last time I listen to you.
It's almost summertime. Well, good morning from East Point. Well, we're not actually up at East Point, that's the lighthouse over that way. I've been down doing some photography, pointing in the other direction. Someone's having a cup of tea. Say again, I didn't get brought.
I've had a migraine, so I wasn't thinking.
There's always an excuse. Nice viewpoint though.
I did think about bringing you a coffee, but it was kind of halfway down here. Better late than never.
This is true. Actually, no, it's not. It was actually quite a calm night last night in the end. The wind died about sort of 11 o'clock. But this really is the little sort of nook before the storm comes in. I think by about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock this afternoon, things start getting up, and definitely middle of the night all the way through Wednesday and into Thursday morning. big winds coming, so we're going to hunker down in Portree probably for the next couple of days. This place is beautiful. It's got a very Nordic feel to it.
Just realised how smooth it is. We could have actually got the boat across today.
We could have, but then we would have been on the Isle of Harris in the absolute crazy winds, which again is why we didn't do it this way around. So
Let's hope by Sunday it's back as calm as this.
probably not. So yeah, this kind of reminds me of what the Faroe Islands would probably be like. So yeah, beautiful.
I can see at least 1, 2, 3 waterfalls, 4 waterfalls. And that's just on that little tiny bit of coast. So.
Well, Skye is known as the waterfall island.
Is it? Or did you just make that up?
Bit of both. Nicola trying to pick her way through the non-boggy bits. What she doesn't realise is she's going to waste so much time trying to find the non-boggy bits. There's like one non-boggy bit. She might as well just walk across. Her feet are already wet. Oh, crap on a stick! Yeah, don't do that. Boggy. Nicola's showing off her gymnastic skills there.
Hardly skills.
More scrambling.
I can see it from here.
Let's do it. Oh. East Point Lighthouse is one of those iconic images that you quite often will see on postcards and images if you Google Skye. And there's a good reason for it. It's a beautiful landscape. Little tip if you're coming here specifically to do a landscape photo with it: sunset, dusk, because you get the light on the side of the mountain, so side of the cliff face. But yeah, it's not bad, I guess. Worth getting bogged up for the second time this morning for me? Not really. Afternoon, guys. Weather update. Still raining.
It's not windy though.
It's not windy? Well, that's to come later. So we're heading down to Talisker Bay. Again, another area I really wanted to visit from a photography point of view, but haven't brought any of my camera kit out, just my little X100T, so just a bit of a recce today. Let's go do Talisker Bay. Harold and Hilda style. Harold and Hilda do Talisker Bay. In fact, I think we should start our own line in comedy postcards. So let's turn around to get the waterfall in. Come with me. Here we go. This is the first of our...
The waterfall's not because your head's in the
I know,
way.
that's why I'm going to move the camera. This is what we're like all the time. It's the way she just kind of manoeuvred me around. There we go. There's our first little click.
Oh, I was posing for a photo then.
Literally in this little 30-second skit, you've got an insight into my life. Luckily at the top of this road, Talisker Distillery. I wasn't going to have a dram, now I am. So another little insight into our lives. I'm sitting kind of trying to compose a nice little moody image, just lovely and sort of very Scottish. And I turned around and Nicola's doing this. And I'm like, what are you doing? And it's because...
Well, I had to buy some new gloves because my gloves got wet, and I bought these.
Hang on, did you hear that? I had to buy new gloves because my other gloves got wet.
Anyway, look at the lovely little buttons on them.
Anyway.
Very nice. Anyway, I bought them to go with this. But what I didn't
Both
realise,
on this trip, by the way.
Both on this trip because I forgot
Trying to
bring anything
minimalise.
with me. But what I didn't realise, because I didn't have this on at the time, is look the different colours. But I figured that when one's up here and one's down here, you wouldn't really notice. So it's okay. That's 2 minutes you're never getting back.
I've got lots of minutes I'm never getting back. But did you hear that? Her gloves got wet so she had to buy new ones.
Oh, I would have caught a chill otherwise.
I think I have to buy new pants then. So one of my favourite whiskies is Talisker. In fact, there's a rumour one day years ago in a previous life I spent 300 quid on a bottle? 250 quid, splitting hairs, on a bottle. 8 years ago we came here, and I think it's closed like 2 days of the year, Christmas Day and another day. We came on that other day, so we're back. I don't think I'm going to do the tour because it's like 40 quid, but I might have a wee dram. So I just want to put this on record that it was my decision to leave the safety of Portree and drive out into the wilds. It's still going to be windy tonight, but not as windy as we had thought. So we will be back in Portree tomorrow night, but come on guys, it's a car park. Let's go into the wilds.
Let's revisit this at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Nicola has just spotted the storm clouds behind us.
If I have to move the van at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're going to owe me big time. Big time.
That means a back scratch, if you know what I mean. Well, that wasn't too bad of a night considering how it could have been. We were originally planning, there's the tail end of a hurricane's coming, as we've said, and it was supposed to be sort of really stormy overnight. We kind of were planning to stay down in Portree last night, and then we looked at the weather forecast and thought, actually, it's not going to be too bad. So pointed the van towards the wind, and actually
it was all right.
It wasn't too bad.
I have to concede, so I'm not going to get any reward for being right.
Today, I think, is actually now going to be quite a stormy day and overnight, so we probably will stay down in Portree tonight. And because it is going to be pretty wet, pretty windy, it's a Wednesday, but I'm going to spend a good few hours in the library catching up with lots of stuff, including lots of planning for Harris. And that's really what our day is going to look like today. But first of all, some breakfast action.
Hungry. Always hungry.